At the very beginning of the story, we see Nick and Judy, who have now officially become police partners. After exposing the true face of Mayor Bellwether, they saved Zootopia from complete destruction and earned the city's trust. Zootopia now has a new mayor, Patrick, a former actor. He announces a grand celebration for the 100th anniversary of the weather devices, because these machines are the reason animals of every species have been able to live together in peace and harmony. The next scene takes us inside the Zootopia Police Department, where Chief Bogo orders his senior officers to arrest a fake customs officer who has been roaming around the city. Bogo wants Nick and Judy to just observe and learn, so they can understand how experienced officers catch real criminals. But before he can even finish his sentence, Nick and Judy rush out on their own to catch the fake officer. At the seaport, Nick and Judy pretend to be a couple to catch the suspect red-handed. The fake officer tells them to leave, but Nick traps him with his clever storytelling. He talks about how his son is desperate for a birthday boat ride, and then casually asks the officer for an autograph. Meanwhile, Judy quietly tries to open one of the containers, but soon the officer realizes they're actually cops. He jumps into his car and takes off. Nick and Judy hijack a pig's car and chase after him, while other police units rush to the scene. After a wild struggle, Nick and Judy leap into the suspect's car and finally force it to stop, arresting him at last. But during all the chaos, a massive statue of the scientist who created the weather devices collapses and shatters. Everyone is shocked and furious. At the very last moment, the Zebra brothers arrive and smartly take the arrested officer into their own car, making the media and the public believe that they were the ones who caught him. While checking the fake officer's car, Judy finds reptile skin and some strange documents. She's stunned because reptiles aren't supposed to exist in Zootopia at all. Judy immediately reports this to Chief Bogo, but he refuses to listen. He's already angry at Nick and Judy for destroying the statue. As punishment, Bogo orders them to attend a workshop, where Dr. Fuzzby lectures them about improving teamwork. Other officers mock them, saying their partnership is a complete failure. Across the city, people are furious about the broken statue, but Nick and Judy ignore the noise because they still trust each other completely. Later that night, Judy watches the news in her room. The report says that the Lingsley family, a powerful family of cats, is expanding its territory because their grandparents were the original creators of the weather devices. This sparks fear and unrest among other species. The news also reveals that during the anniversary celebration, the Lingsley family's original diary will be displayed, the diary that contains the true design of the weather devices. After a past reptile attack, the diary had been hidden away. Judy starts watching old videos online and discovers that years ago, a reptile snake murdered the Lingsley family's turtle maid. After that incident, all reptiles were banished from Zootopia. Now Judy is certain a reptile has secretly returned to the city. She tells Nick everything and says that if they solve this mystery, no one will ever doubt their partnership again. Nick thinks the theory sounds crazy, but he still agrees to stand by Judy. In the next scene, fully prepared with clues and suspicion, Nick and Judy arrive at the grand 100th anniversary celebration of the weather devices, because this is where the real game is about to begin. Judy moves closer to the Lingsley diary and notices something strange. Its cover is made entirely of iron. She's completely shocked, because a cover like that is usually designed to hide a very dangerous secret. Just then, Chief Bogo arrives at the party, forcing Nick and Judy to stay hidden. Around the same time, Judy meets a member of the Lingsley family, someone gentle, talkative, and completely different from the rest of his family. Nick still believes there's no reptile anywhere in Zootopia, but the very next moment, he notices reptile skin lying on the floor. That's when it hits him. A reptile is definitely nearby. Suddenly, Chief Bogo grabs Nick and starts taking him away, but Nick uses his clever instincts. He spins the stage spotlight toward a mysterious masked figure, and in seconds, the truth is exposed. Everyone freezes in shock, because under the mask is a viper snake. The snake instantly grabs the head of the Lingsley family and the diary, and escapes. Panic explodes across the party. Animals screaming, running, chaos everywhere. The snake rushes into a room with the diary, and Judy follows him inside. She pleads, "Please, don't kill anyone. Don't hurt anyone." The snake replies calmly, "I'm not the murderer. The real killers are the Lingsley family, and this diary hides their darkest secret." Judy is left completely confused. But before she can understand anything, Nick bursts into the room and attacks the snake, knocking him unconscious. The Lingsley family takes the diary back and orders the police to kill the snake. Something feels very wrong to Judy, like the truth is being buried. As the snake regains consciousness in panic, he accidentally bites Chief Bogo, who collapses to the ground unconscious. Police officers rush in to kill the snake, but Nick and Judy step in and save him. The snake jumps out through a window. Below, a mysterious vehicle is already waiting. It picks up the snake and vanishes into the night. Now Nick and Judy are in danger danger too. They grab the diary and jump down as well, where Mr. Big's men catch them, pull them into a car, and take them somewhere safe. Meanwhile, the Lingsley family pressures the mayor, demanding that Nick and Judy be captured, and the diary returned at any cost. Across the city, only one story spreads, that Nick and Judy helped the snake and betrayed Zootopia. To protect them, Mr. Big gives them fake passports and a way to escape to another district, but Judy refuses to run. She wants the truth, because the snake said he was doing all this for his family, and he never intended to kill anyone. After hearing Judy out, Mr. Big introduces them to a beaver, the only one who can help them reach the reptiles. The beaver is goofy and sarcastic, but Nick and Judy follow him anyway. He leads them through dark, narrow, and dangerous paths to a hidden place where only marine creatures and reptiles live. Seeing reptiles and seals living together leaves Nick and Judy completely stunned. The beaver introduces them to a chameleon, who welcomes them by offering earthworms to eat. Terrified, Nick and Judy somehow swallow them. The chameleon and other reptiles laugh at them. Then the chameleon explains the diary was sealed with an iron cover because its true design can only be seen by a reptile snake. He also tells them how, after the murder of the Lingsley family's turtle maid, the entire reptile community was forced out of the city. Suddenly, police officers arrive. The reptiles panic and start running for their lives. Nick and Judy run with the beaver and the chameleon. The police, massive hippos, swim through the water, closing in fast. The chameleon abandons them and escapes. In the chaos, the snake snatches the diary from Judy and runs. Dodging the officers, Nick and Judy chase after him. After barely surviving pipelines and narrow passages, they finally escape outside, but the snake is already gone. On the ground, Judy spots the fallen diary. Nearby, they meet two goat climbers carrying the same flower symbol seen on the diary. During questioning, they reveal that the snake once lived on a mountain above. Hearing this, Nick and Judy begin climbing the mountain using ropes. But midway, they get into a heated argument. And in that moment, Judy's favorite carrot-shaped USB drive slips from her hand, falls down, and shatters on the rocks below. Judy's heart sinks. She's completely broken. Once inside, Judy uncovers a series of shocking truths. Just like every other species has its own world, reptiles and snakes once had a beautiful world of their own, a place where they lived peacefully, safely, and with dignity. But the Lingsley family took everything from them: their homes, their identity, their entire world. Now Judy understands. The snake was telling the truth. He wasn't a villain. He was fighting to protect his family. Nick suddenly notices officers closing in fast. "We have to get out of here now," he warns. But Judy refuses. "No one will believe us without proof," she says. "We have to expose the truth." Suddenly, the officers attack. The impact is so violent that the building begins to split apart. Judy loses her footing and starts to fall. At the last second, the snake and his friend Bill leap forward and save her, but an officer injects Judy with a tranquilizer. Her vision fades, and she collapses unconscious. Risking their lives, the snake and Bill drag her to safety. On the other side, Nick fights desperately, but he's overwhelmed and arrested. When Judy wakes up, she finds herself riding on a bike. In front of her sit Gary the snake and his friend Robert. "Don't worry," Gary says calmly. "We're on your side." When Judy asks about Nick, Gary tells her the officers have taken him into custody. He then hands her a book, the same book that holds the darkest secret of the weather devices. But Nick refuses to say a single word about Judy. As punishment, he's thrown straight into prison. Through the bars of his cell window, Nick watches the Lingsley family expand their territory in rage. An execution order is issued. All reptiles are to be wiped out. Because a strand of Robert's fur was found, he's marked for execution too. Back in hiding, Gary promises Judy, "We will save Nick, no matter what." He takes her to Robert's hideout, quiet, hidden, and completely secure. When Judy asks how all this began, Gary explains that when he learned the diary would be displayed publicly, he sent an anonymous letter to Robert's family. That letter forced Robert to face the truth. From that moment on, Robert chose to stand with Gary. "We'll save the city," Robert tells Judy, "and expose my family's crimes to everyone." The weather device was not created by mammals. It was created by a reptile, Gary's great-grandmother. Her dream was simple: a city where all species could live together in peace. To make that dream real, she needed an investor. That's when she approached Robert's great-grandfather. At first he agreed, but greed took over. He betrayed her, claimed full credit for the invention, and murdered his own maid, then framed Gary's great-grandmother for the crime. From that day forward, reptiles were hated across all of Zootopia. Eventually, they were banished from the city. Robert's great-grandfather buried Reptile City beneath the ice, so the truth would never be discovered. But the original weather device patent survived. The maid had secured it, and before her arrest, Gary's grandmother hid it inside their old home. If they can find that house, they can recover the patent, prove the Lingsley family's crimes, and save Zootopia. To locate the patent, they first need to activate the clock tower switch, once located deep inside Reptile City. That switch can only be accessed from within the weather device itself, so the three of them head straight toward it. But on the other side, Robert's phone location is traced, and officers are dispatched after them. Inside prison, Nick comes face to face with old enemies. The beaver asks him, "Why do you look so broken?" Nick answers quietly, "When I told Judy that this case wasn't worth risking our lives, she said we're too different, and maybe we can't stay partners." Nick's eyes fill with tears. "I don't want to lose her." Hearing this, the beaver's heart softens. He opens the prison door and helps Nick escape, but while dodging the guards, Nick accidentally releases every criminal in the facility. Chaos erupts. With help from a friend, Nick and the beaver manage to escape. Before leaving, Nick tells his friend, "Hack the Hawk Warden's computer. I need Judy's location." Meanwhile, Judy, Robert, and Gary move toward the weather wall. But the moment Judy realizes officers are tracking them, she smashes her phone on the ground, cutting off their location completely. Outside the weather wall, a massive festival is in full swing. The crowd is huge, loud, unstoppable, but with help from her teammates, Judy pushes through the crowd. Now all three of them race toward the weather device. At the same time, Robert's father learns about their entire plan. He turns to the guards and orders coldly, "Don't let them leave alive." Suddenly, an officer fires a poison dart straight at Judy, but at the exact last second, Nick rushes in with Flash's car, sliding between them. Judy's life is saved. Judy, Gary, and Robert make it inside the weather device. The doors slam shut. Nick is left outside. Inside, with everyone's help, Judy activates the clock tower switch of Reptile City. Slowly buried beneath ice, the clock tower begins to glow. For the first time in years, Reptile City becomes visible. Everyone celebrates, but outside, the activated weather device creates chaos. Freezing winds, violent snowstorms. Nick struggles to survive. Seeing this, Judy panics. At the perfect moment, the beaver opens the door. Nick stumbles inside, barely alive, but the moment he enters, Robert betrays them. He rushes toward Judy and injects her with poison. Gary attacks Robert in rage, but Robert throws Gary outside into the snow, leaving him to freeze. Robert screams, "No one in my family respects me, so I'll burn the original weather device papers. Only then will they finally accept me." Judy, weak but conscious, pleads, "Don't become like your family. You're better than them." Robert answers calmly, "I don't want to be different from them." He then injects the beaver with venom, knocking him unconscious. Nick desperately searches for Judy, but Robert ambushes him and attacks. Outside, Gary somehow uses his own body heat to keep Judy alive. Just then, officers arrive. Seeing Gary wrapped around Judy, they assume he's trying to eat her and attack him immediately. Gary screams, "I'm trying to save her, not kill her," but no one listens. In the chaos, Robert attacks Nick again. That's when Gary notices something, anti-venom inside Robert's bag. He shouts to Nick, "Anti-venom, throw it down, it can save Judy." Risking his life, Nick fights Robert to grab the anti-venom. During the struggle, the vial slips and falls toward the edge of an icy cliff. Without hesitation, Nick sprints forward, catches the anti-venom, and throws it down. Gary injects Judy immediately. Slowly, Judy opens her eyes. As she regains strength, she runs toward Nick, and with Gary's help, pulls him back from the edge. Robert loses balance and falls into the frozen abyss below. Gary revives the beaver with an injection. Nick and Judy look at each other and smile. Without saying a word, their eyes say everything. We're better together, and we always will be. But the danger isn't over yet. Robert is still alive, and now he's running toward Reptile City to burn the original patent papers. Nick, Judy, and their friends chase him. On the way, Robert runs into his parents. They scream at him in rage for siding with Judy. Robert snaps back, "I wasn't helping them. I was pretending. Now I know the original papers are hidden in Reptile City, and the weather device was created by Gary's great-grandmother. If I burn those papers, our family will be safe again." The mayor is present too, but Robert's father orders him to stay silent. That's when the beaver and his allies arrive. The snake and the beaver decide to confront the Lingsley family, while Nick and Judy go after Robert. Using a truck, Nick and Judy catch up to him. A brutal fight breaks out. Robert starts overpowering them, but Gary and the beaver arrive just in time. Together, they subdue Robert and tie him up with ropes. By now, the mayor has learned the full truth. He chooses justice over power and turns against Robert's family. Gary takes his friends to his old home. Beneath the ice lies the hidden, beautiful, colorful Reptile City. Everyone is speechless. Inside the house, Gary grows emotional. Memories of his childhood flood back. And there, they finally find the original weather device patent, created by Gary's great-grandmother. Suddenly, Robert appears again, ready to kill everyone. But before he can act, officers arrive and knock him unconscious. The truth spreads across the entire city. Robert and his family are arrested. Nick, Judy, and their friends are honored as heroes. They receive awards for bravery, and at last, reptiles are allowed to return to Zootopia. They begin a new life together. Nick and Judy smile once more, standing as true partners who completed their mission. Gary throws a party at his home. After years of exile, his entire family returns, back to their city, back to their home, together at last. But in the final scene, we see Bellwether, who has escaped from prison and is trying to flee in disguise, only to realize Nick and Judy are already there, ready to arrest her. And with that, the movie comes to an end. If this story reminded you that truth always finds a way, and that standing together can change the world, then don't forget you're part of this journey too. Hit subscribe, share this story with someone who still believes in justice,